Hey everyone, it's your old mate Shano here. Thanks very much for stopping by to check out this video. Today we're going to ask 3 questions about the book called Thank You for My Service, written by Matt Best. Those questions are, what did I like about it? What didn't I like about it? And would I recommend it? First of all though, let's learn a little bit more about this book. This was published in 2019 and is written by Matt Best, as we mentioned. He is a former United States Army Ranger, internet personality, and a co-founder of the Black Rifle Coffee Company. The book details his life from his youth through to his time in the military and as a private contractor to the startup of the coffee company. Here is the blurb. In this hilarious and personal memoir, readers ride shotgun alongside Matt Best into the action and its aftermath, both abroad and at home. From surviving a skin infection in the swampy armpit of America, to kicking down doors in the outskirts of Ramadi, from blowing up a truck full of enemy combatants, to witnessing the effects of a suicide bombing right in front of your face. Thank You for My Service will give readers fresh insight into what it's really like inside the minds of the men and women on the front lines. It's also a sobering yet steadying glimpse at civilian life for veterans after the fighting stops. When the enemy becomes self-doubt or despair, and you begin to wonder why anyone should be thanking you for anything, least of all your service, how do you keep going when something you love turns you into somebody you hate? So our first question then is, what did I like about Thank You for My Service? Spread here and there throughout the book are some quite serious parts where Best talks about what it's like to come back from war and conflict zones and into the civilian world. When he describes coming back to normal life in 2008 after 5 deployments at 23 years of age, and realizing how utterly different it all was, he really nailed it. He relayed all of the thoughts that were going through his head at the time, which allowed me, as a reader, to fully understand the discombobulation and feeling of alienation. Then again, towards the end of the book, there's a section on PTSD and the way veterans are treated in the media and in entertainment. He notes how they're often portrayed as damaged goods or loose units, or at the other end of the scale, hyper-patriotic heroes, when the reality, as he tells it, is often somewhere in the middle. Soldiers and others coming back from war zones just want to get back to normal life as quickly as possible, but struggle to do so since the military way of life is all-enveloping when you're a part of it. The last couple of chapters in particular were thoroughly engrossing. So what didn't I like about this book? Well, yes, as I mentioned, there's some really good stuff here and there. The rest of the book was pretty hard going. Imagine you're at a barbecue and you've been cornered by a bro with a beer and he spends hours breathlessly telling you how awesome he is, how many chicks he's banged, and hitting you with dad joke after dad joke after dad joke. And you get an idea of how I felt while reading this. Now, I will say that I probably would have lapped this up 20 years ago, but it just did not resonate with me reading it now. It was funny at the start, but it got really old really quick for me. For me, some of the jokes and one-liners just didn't land. Things like, I studied those war flicks like conspiracy theories study the Zapruder film with no pants on, just made me cringe. Some stories go on way too long as well, like the Fight School Party Bus is one that comes to mind, to the point where, when he finally wrapped up the story, I wondered what the point of it was and why it was even included. Also, I didn't really need the chapter on how many women he shagged when he got back from his first deployment. So, would I recommend this book? Like I said, it does have some really good, serious parts, and those are definitely the highlights. But it's also got lots of stories that are probably hilarious with a few beers around a fire pit. But when they're written down and read back, they lose all their oomph and energy. This probably doesn't need to be on your must-read list. If you're familiar with Best's YouTube content, then this book is very much in the same tone. If you like that, you'll no doubt really enjoy the book. And if you don't, then you'll likely find it quite a chore to get through.